Hi guys, it is Sahara back with a what sold video. I'm kind of making my comeback to YouTube and I only posted a haul so far, so I want to get on here and share with you guys what has been selling for me in the month of July. And so if you want to just see what sold, you can skip ahead, but I just wanted to share a little bit about what's been going on with my business this year. The first few months of the year, we were kind of in crunch time where we didn't have a lot of money saved for taxes and stuff like that when we realized how much we were going to have to pay because both my husband and I are self-employed. So I kind of went into like a clearance mode because I had almost 2,000 items in my reseller store inventory. And so I ran like 30 to 40% off sales for my whole store on eBay, and I was able to, come up with all the money we needed to pay our taxes. And so that's kind of what I was doing at the beginning of the year. And so I did that for a few months, and I've gotten my inventory down to, it was at about 700 items like about a month ago, because then basically shortly after that happened, where I was clearing out a lot of old inventory and taking offers, selling at a discount just to move items. Then I found out I was expecting a baby in November. So the first couple months of my pregnancy, I kind of really slowed down on my business. I wasn't listing much, wasn't sourcing much, was kind of just getting through the day-to-day, packing the orders I had, that kind of stuff. So that really slowed down my business a lot too. I got to the point where maybe I was making a few sales a day, if even. And so then just in the last maybe 2 months, I finally started really getting back into my business because we really need the extra income right now as we prepare for having our second child. So yeah, that's where I'm at now. Now I'm like back on track the last couple months with actually listing every single day, at least 10 listings a day, if not more like 15, maybe even 20 some days. So that's where I'm at now. And I've definitely seen my sales start to pick up, but it has been a little bit slower than I'd like for how much work I've been doing. And I don't know if that's still from all the time I kind of took off from eBay and stuff earlier this year, or if that's just the reality of summer slowdown. So here I am sharing for you what items have been selling for me. I will share what sold quickly. And yeah, just a reminder, I mostly shop at the bins. I do sometimes pick up items at the regular Goodwill, and I will let you guys know what I bought where and how much I spent for it. So yeah, let's get right into what has been selling so far in July for me. Okay, so first up, I have a bread and butter item, just this Life is Good graphic long sleeve t-shirt in a size small. I got this at the bins maybe a week or two ago, and it already sold for an offer of $10 on eBay. And when I'm buying things at the bin for about $1 an item, I really don't mind selling for $10 to $15 if they're brands like this that sell quickly and consistently for me. Okay, next thing, just another, I like to give different kind of examples because I know a lot of people, when you're sourcing, you're like, oh, Old Navy, I would never buy that. But I feel like in even like super basic brands like Old Navy, you can find certain things that sell well. So this was like a tunic length shirt. It was a linen cotton blend in an extra large. So it had multiple factors going for it, which is why I grabbed it at the bins, and it sold in just a couple weeks for $12 on eBay. Next up is one of my favorite brands. It's called Natural Life, and it's kind of like a boho, oversized, maybe even like, I guess, similar to Free People, maybe brand. Their pieces they're not crazy expensive. They are like $60-ish a piece usually, and they just don't have a lot of sales and stuff, I guess, too. And there's just really high demand for this brand. So definitely keep an eye out for it. I actually got this at the regular Goodwill, I think, for half off. So I think I paid $4 for it, and I sold it for $20 in just a couple days. Okay, next up is another bread and butter brand that I almost always pick up at the bins in the larger sizes. If they're smaller sizes, I'm a little pickier. This was a size 2 in Chico's, which is equivalent to a large. And their skirts usually do decent for me, and this sold in maybe like a week for $15 or $16 on an offer. So I was happy with that because it came from the bins. Next up on eBay, I'd never sold this brand before, but I saw these. The brand was called Aventura, and I just noticed they were at 98% organic cotton, and they were kind of like these hiking-ish pants. So I thought they might do well. So I picked this up, and it sold pretty quickly for $15. I did check the comps, of course, and they had a pretty good sell-through rate. So keep an eye out for those. Okay, this next item is another brand I've sold a few times, and just this style in general is something to be looking out for. I did have this listed for $28, and you could certainly get that if you're patient, but I like to sell things quickly, and I found this at the bins. The brand is called Lawrence Kazar, which specifically in this style is a better brand, but basically it's just these vintage 100% silk beaded embellished tops like this. They usually do pretty well, and you can also find dresses and such in the same style. Just make sure that you check the material tag and it is a 100% silk one, because there's a lot of polyester ones and I just don't think those would be worth as much. So yeah, this was a really pretty top and it sold quickly for about $20 from the bins. Next up, I found this cute Lululemon top at the bins. I've had a lot more luck lately finding Lululemon there. I actually found 2 Lululemon pieces on this day. And yeah, this was in a size 12. There was nothing wrong with it. And it sold in just a couple days for an offer of $22. Next up are some kids' Crocs. It's a great time to be listing kids' shoes if they're in good condition for back to school. These came from the bins. I always grab them there, and these were really dirty when I got them, but I cleaned them up pretty well other than the insoles, but they still sold in just a day or two for $14. So that's a win. Next up, if you did watch my last haul video, I grabbed this little Kipling fanny pack at the regular Goodwill for $3. And it sold in maybe a week for $22 on an offer. So definitely something to keep an eye out for. This was really cute. Next up, I got these Keen Zaraport 2 sandals. I'd never seen this style by Keen before. I was at a kind of different thrift store than usual out of my town, and I saw these for I think like $4 or $5, and I just grabbed them. And when I looked them up, this particular style actually had a really good sell-through rate, and I think I accepted an offer for $25 on these the next day after I listed them. But you could definitely hold out for the full amount if that's the kind of reseller you are. Okay, next up is these Love Shack Fancy Pants. I've had these for so long, probably like a year. This is honestly a really good brand, but I guess it can just take longer to sell. They finally sold though for $35 on an offer. I did pay like $5 for them at a regular Goodwill, but yeah, definitely a good brand to keep an eye out for. It just sometimes take a little longer than you might like to sell. Next up, some On Cloud shoes. I really thought these would sell faster too, but I had them listed for a few months and finally got an offer for $35, I think, and I took it. I always grab these when I see them at the bins. Kind of have gotten lucky finding these a lot. I guess maybe a lot of other resellers don't recognize them yet. I'm not sure, but I can usually find these at the bins pretty often, and these were in particularly good condition, but I do still grab these even if they have a couple minor flaws. Okay, this was another kind of, a brand I don't always pick up, BCBG Max Azria, but now with so many Y2K styles being popular, I do kind of look at it a little more when I find it, because I feel like a lot of their pieces are older. This was like a cardigan that was 87% cashmere, so like mostly cashmere, which definitely always adds value. And I just personally thought the style of it was really cute. It reminded me of some of the cardigans I used to wear when I was younger, growing up in the 2000s, so that's why I did add the Y2K keyword on it, and this sold pretty quickly for an offer of $15. Okay, this is an item, definitely a Bolo brand. It's called St. John. If you're new to reselling, you might not have heard of it. It's a luxury high-end brand. I actually found this at the bins probably 9 months ago or so. I don't know. Once enough time goes by, I have a hard time keeping track of exactly when I found the item. But anyways, this was a really pretty St. John dress. It seemed like a newer style. I actually found like a few St. John pieces on the same day and another dress just like this one, just in a different color. And that one sold a lot quicker. So, yeah, I think a lot of these were going for like 100 to like 150, but because this one was sitting for so long, I finally accepted an offer for $80 on it. And I was just happy with that because, like I said, sales have been slower. So to get an $80 sale from an item that's been sitting around that I found at the bins, that's a win for me. So definitely keep an eye out for St. John, and especially in more substantial pieces like this dress or a jacket or something like that. And usually their pieces are like a knitted fabric. So just something to look for. I've been really loving selling Brooks shoes. These were actually in pretty nice condition considering they came from the bins, and they sold really quickly for $30, the full price. So definitely keep an eye out for Brooks. And this is one of my favorite bra brands to find at the bins. It's called Wacol. And that little number, 853192 on the tag, is basically the style number. And if you just type that right into eBay when you're creating your listing, it's really easy to find good comps on them. And usually you can get about $15 to $20 for these. So yeah, I always love grabbing them at the bins. And next up, I went back and forth on whether to get this. And I was so glad I did because it sold really quickly for like $18 on an offer. So it's just like a vintage Roxy Quicksilver Y2K kind of gym duffel bag. And yeah, I got it from the bins. It wasn't in perfect condition, but considering the age, it was pretty good. And it had a lot of interest basically, which I was kind of surprised by because I couldn't find exact comps. Okay, this was a really good sale. I was honestly shocked how quickly this sold. This is the brand Peruvian Connection, which is kind of known for specifically like alpaca pieces and 100% Pima cotton pieces, stuff like that. So this was a 100% Pima cotton dress. And let's see, do I have a close-up of the tag? Yeah. So if you look at the tag, it has that little alpaca in the middle. It's kind of a good way to recognize it. This was a really gorgeous dress. It actually retailed, I think, put in my description, for $368. So when I saw that, I had a feeling it might sell good, but I didn't expect it to sell like literally in just a few hours. I think it sold for my full asking price of $80. Yeah, so I was really happy with that. I did pay up for this, paid $8 for this on my regular Goodwill. But yeah, that's a win. That definitely made looking through there that day worth it. Sometimes I feel like it can feel like a waste of time looking at the regular Goodwill for things because it is so much harder to find stuff that's worth paying for since they charge so much. But yeah, I love when I find big wins like that. All right, next up, some Birkenstocks. So you can see by the soles, these were a little worn. Not too bad though, no major flaws. They sold for $28 on Poshmark. And yeah, just always want to keep your eye out for Birkenstocks and look for the Birk on the bottoms. That's how you can know they're the real ones. And yeah, I got these from the bins. Next up, some American Eagle men's jeans. I don't always grab, I'm really picky with the women's jeans from American Eagle, honestly, unless I'm just going to take them to Plato's Closet if they're a newer style. But their men's jeans always sell really well for me for $15 to $25. So these sold on an offer with discounted shipping, I think. So I made about $15 on them, but they came from the bins. So I was happy with that. Okay, this was so this was like a little bundle. And these two items both had come from the bins. And sorry, this vintage Victoria's Secret pajama top, it had been sitting for a really long time. So I had literally just listed this dress that I'd gotten at the regular Goodwill for $8, and I thought it might take a while to sell, but literally the next day I'd had it listed for $60 and somebody put it in a bundle with the other two items and offered me $60 altogether. So I just took that. I was like, sure, like you're kind of paying full price for this, and then I'm giving you a couple freebies basically from the bin. So I was really happy with that. This is the brand, if you haven't heard of it, Diane von Furstenberg. It is a more higher end, luxury brand. Let's see if I can find the actual tag to show you. Let's see. No, I guess I didn't have a good picture of it. But yeah, but in the past when I found this brand, it hasn't sold as quickly as I would like it to. So I was just really pleased that this actually sold the next day. So yeah, that's why I took the offer on the bundle, and I made 50 bucks basically for the dress that I had paid $8 for. Okay, another just bread and butter piece. These are just some J-gel pants in a size 14, kind of like a wide leg crop. I love picking up J-gel, and I pick up almost all the J-gel I find at the bins. Almost all the J-gel. It always does well for me as like a bread and butter sale. Next up, some Abercrombie jeans. I love finding women's Abercrombie jeans in the newer styles. These were the 90s straight ultra high rise. I think I got these at Plato's Closet on clearance for $2 or $3, and they sold in probably about a month for $27 on Poshmark. So happy with that. All right, a couple more Mercari sales, if they'll load. All right, so I saw this fur collar scarf thing at the bins. I just grabbed it. It didn't have any markings or tags on it, but I could tell kind of from the lining that it was definitely vintage, and it really felt so soft. It really felt authentic. So I just listed as that, unmarked, super soft, real fur, and it sold pretty quickly for $20. So yeah, if it had markings on it and I could, identify the type of fur or how old it was, you could certainly get more for an item like this, but I didn't have that knowledge or information, but I still wanted to sell it, so I just sold it a little lower. Next up, this is where bins find. Just wanted to show my favorite brands to find lately at the bins. Aerie, and these are like just Offline by Aerie little shorts, so look for that logo label right there. Those sold for $12 in just a few days of listing. A new to me brand, these were by the brand Quince, and they were 100% linen shorts. I think I had them listed for $20, yeah, and then I got an offer for $15, and since Mercari doesn't charge any fees now, I just took the offer. So I made a full $15 off of them, and they came from the bins. So yeah, this seems like a pretty good linen brand to look out for. Okay. Next up, a couple Depop sales. I do not list all my inventory in here, specifically just the vintage pieces. And so this was kind of laying in my death pile, you could say, for a while, because I knew I was going to have to take measurements for it. So I just took a while to get around to it. But it was this really pretty vintage kind of cottagecore dress. And yeah, I finally got it up on Depop, and it sold just the other day for $25. And what I think is crazy about Depop is you can boost your listings on there, and they charge you like 8% extra or something like that as a fee. So it's really small, honestly, and you get so many views. Like, guys, this listing got 18,000 views almost, 69 likes. Like, my vintage items I list on there, and they sell so quickly, and vintage and Y2K pieces just sell so much faster on Depop than any other platform for me. So I love selling just those items on there. I only cross list those or just unique things onto Depop, and I've had pretty good luck selling there. This is another example. Both of these came from the bins, by the way. This was just like a 100% silk, kind of like Asian style maxi skirt. Very pretty. And I just listed this on Depop too, and it sold for $25. And this had 81 likes. And let's see how many views it got. Oh, it won't tell me on that one. But yeah, it's so crazy how many views and, just eyes on your items you can get. So even if people are slower to buy on there, you're just getting so many more views on your items that they will still sell pretty quickly. So yeah, that's it for today's What Sold. I hope this helped you, and maybe, you'll find some of the items I mentioned in the video, some of the brands or styles, while you're out thrifting. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked the video, please hit the like button and subscribe for more reselling content from me. Hope you guys have a blessed day. Bye.